Now, if you're looking for some consistency in your game, and especially with your driving, then this video is going to be for you. Lee is on a bit of a journey, destination scratch. He wants to try and get his handicap as low as he possibly can. He's done really well this year, come from 18 to 9. This winter he wants to really work on trying to improve his game even more. Now, today I want to do a little experiment, and it's for Lee's driving of the golf ball. Now, Lester and Lee are coming in. They've not arrived yet, and this is going to be a bit of a blindfold experiment because they don't know that we're going to be doing this video. I would say one of the strengths in my game is definitely the driving area of my game. Hitting fairways for me is really, really important. And some time ago, I spent a long time working on driving the golf ball and getting the shape that I wanted. But what it came down to was strike. Now, for me, I have worked out over the years that if I can get it slightly higher in the toe area, that gives me the best numbers for me. It gives me the lowest spin, gives me the best launch, pushes out to the right hand side, just draws back for me with a little bit of gear effect. So we're going to do a little experiment today to see where these boys strike it in the face. My gut feeling is that Lee is going to be very inconsistent all over the club face with his driver, and for him to get better at driving the golf ball, he needs to improve that. Let's get the boys in and figure out where they're hitting it. Question for you.
Yep.
Are you aware of where you strike the club face on the driver?
Yes.
Where?
Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm tending to hit heel quite a lot.
Is that because you're trying to hit it there, or
No,
because you just keep hitting it there?
I just keep hitting it there, so I'm consciously setting up now on the toe of the golf club with my driver to try and hit centre strike, which is not right, I know, but that's the only thing I can do at the moment.
How important is strike for the driver?
It's the most important. It's the most important thing.
Because if combination, but it is.
I would say it's the most important thing. If you're not striking the middle of the club, it doesn't matter what you're swinging it at. You're not going to get your maximum distance. And
okay. So what I'm going to do, I just want you to hit like 10 more shots, okay, or 10 shots, and then I'm going to explain what we're actually doing here today.
Okay.
Lee's arrived.
I've arrived.
Hit every traffic light in Torquay, apparently.
There's a lot.
Okay, I have asked you, you've had no warm-up. This is going to be just like what you would do in a course vlog, okay? Like we don't really get warm-ups because we're generally running to the first tee.
Yeah.
So, you're going to hit a series of drives, okay? With your driver, you're all dotted up, ready to go, and I just want you to basically let rip.
Right, okay.
Let's see what you've got, all right?
So you just want full out? No
well, yeah, like you would do, like you know the comments that we get on the vlogs.
Yeah.
Where Lee needs to calm down. So
oh,
I
so
just
you
want
want
you to
course
hit
vlog drives, like
yeah, I want you to hit
bomb
it. I want you to give it a good old bombing. All right. Well, that's what we've done. So I want some bombing.
Right. Okay. No warm up.
Cool. You'd take that on every first tee, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that'd be
in a course vlog.
I'll take that on course vlog.
All day long. Bomber. Lee?
Yeah.
As part of your little scratch journey,
yeah.
Okay, there is a project for you this winter. Lester, reveal what's been going on.
a lot.
I have used all the simulator.
Okay,
so we've used a lot
me.
of face, I think.
Okay, so let's start with me, okay? Right. So this is me. Can you see my strike performance there? Those are all my dots of where I've hit the ball, okay? The red one is the last shot, or the shot that I've tapped, okay? So you can see there that I try and get it into the high toe position.
Well, I try that
with my driver. Okay, so that's my optimal. If I can get it into this position, this is me optimizing where my drive will perform on a more consistent level for me.
Okay.
Let's just go to Leicester.
Oh God.
So this is Leicester. Okay.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Now, this is Leicester's grouping, and you can see here that you have been struggling a little bit with your driving at recent times.
Yeah, I've been hitting a lot of heel.
A lot of heel, yeah.
Which you can probably see there, the majority of it's slightly favouring the heel, although that's a bit all over the face, isn't it?
That is quite inconsistent. And I
inconsistent.
feel that this is something, you know, we can now answer a few of the questions as to why you're a little inconsistent with your driver.
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised with that. I honestly thought that your grouping might have just been a little bit tighter than that. But it's not bad, and I think it's probably highlighted you to something to work on yourself.
I think it shows how I can at times hit really good drives and then hit some real rubbish. There's just no consistency on strike.
Now let's look at the middle of
Right, so let's look at what Lee has been up to over here, shall we?
There we go, look at that.
Right, so this is now Lee's. Okay.
Mine
Now,
doesn't look so bad.
if we think about that
There's only
tee shot,
one bad one, huh?
if we think about the tee shot that you hit first shot in the scramble at Le Day in France, that is out of the...
That is back on the ferry somewhere over there.
Out of a shot.
When you sailed it off to the right-hand side.
Just tried to forget about that one.
Well, he knows exactly which one we're talking about because he edited it. So, if we then look, this is where you will have struck that one in Le Day. Okay, so you will have got it right off on that tiptoe of the club, 40 millimeters in the toe of the club.
High toe.
Height, that is definitely high toe. A lot of twisting going on. I'm not feeling that gearing is going to help you much from there. However, if you look, again, you've got quite a bit of a scattering. So you're going from right in the bottom heel position, which we know you can hit the heel as well because we see that low lefty one come out of you.
Yeah.
Which we have seen here. And that is where you start to strike it a little bit in the heel. So one of the areas that we've talked about destination scratch for you is to try and improve that strike. If you can't get the strike right, you need to figure out how you're going to start hitting it in those different positions. So what you've got to learn over time, if you set me up here now...
Did you boys go for it though? Like,
Yeah, you didn't tell me what we were doing. I just hit
none of us warmed up, so I wanted to do it like we would do in a course vlog.
Oh, so
none of us,
you
it was
try and
literally
hit
from
bomb
shot,
balls,
bomb
I didn't know what I
balls.
did. You just said hit 10 drivers, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
was
So the idea is to see exactly where you both are when we get out onto that golf course when we're vlogging. If we're going to beat that 59, we're going to have to start finding the middle of the bat, boys. We've got a little bit further to go with this video, but I just really wanted to highlight, you know, when you talk about consistency of striking, it is absolutely the rule. It rules
Strike is
everything.
king.
Strike is king, Bernie.
It is.
You are prince, but it is king. So I have a question for you.
Cool.
As a footballer and as a manager of a team that you have been, sorry, ex-manager, didn't get on well with the,
No, I did all right.
the team members.
I did all right. One of the
So,
things.
if you were taking now a coaching session with a load of young kids,
Yeah.
and you had one kid who was just really keen, like my Bobby, okay, running around like a headless chicken, all right, running around all over the place, but he keeps falling over the ball. We've got no control over the football. What are you going to ask him to do to start with?
Slow down.
Slow down?
I would, yeah. I'd ask him to slow down and work on his technique.
Okay, so you would get him a bit of control with the football first by him walking along, then jogging, and then running, yeah?
Slowly increase the speed that he runs with the ball at to get to a level where he could maintain balance, coordination, and have control of the ball.
Question for you. If I got in a race car, or let's say a go-kart, all right?
You're good at it,
I am pretty decent at a go-kart.
We need to do that.
If I got in my go-kart
Yeah.
and I kept spinning out on the track at full pelt, what would you be asking me to do, or what would you do if you were doing that?
Probably slow down and learn the track a bit better.
Okay, so you would slow down and you would sort of work out how the corners are performing, where you need to go into the corners, all of those things.
Yeah,
The
and then
first port of
speed up.
call is slow down and then start to put the accelerator on.
Yeah.
So what are we going to ask him to do just to get us going with this?
Go.
We're going to ask him to slow his swing down and try and get a consistent strike.
Okay. I'm also going to add in one more thing for you. This setup here. So this is you working on strike, because what I'm quite interested to know is when we set these up, and these are what? 1.5 inches between the ball, so it's about club face apart. So you're going to take one of them out, probably. Ideally, you want to take all three of those tees. So you want to hit the ball and take both those tees out to sort of get your centreness of strike that much better.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you go ahead and try and hit a few like this now, just before you hit, what's your mindset now looking down at those 3 tees basically? Golf ball in the middle and then 2 tees either side of it.
Weirdly, I'm trying to get between the tees instead of hitting the golf ball.
Okay. So the
That's
focus...
my focus is to get between the tees, not hit the golf ball.
Because if you get between the tees, you think you're
Gonna hit the golf
pretty
ball
much
anyway.
hit it in the sweet spot of the club, or the centre point of the club, yeah?
Yeah.
Just looking down at the tee, where do you think you struck that in the face?
Heel. Definitely
Okay,
in the
because
heel.
you took out the right one,
Yeah, and I felt
or
that
the furthest one
going the
away,
heel.
and you felt it in the heel as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hole! Through the gap,
I
down the
know.
hole, done.
Yeah, so
Completed.
how did that feel off the club face at that last shot you hit there?
That felt pretty central, to be honest.
That felt central.
Yeah.
So you actually hit the tee either side, didn't you, at one stage in that little
Yeah,
experiment?
the first 2. One, the front one, then the back one.
Yeah.
The second shot, I forgot to go through the gate. The last shot, I was concentrating on going through the gate and not worrying about the ball.
Have you ever worked on strike like this before?
Never, no. I've always worked on, in like my sim, on where the ball's finishing.
So, Bernie,
Completed it.
he's completed golf, has he?
That's it.
Okay, so what do you think of Lee's strike performance now?
Better. It's more consistent. He's not scattering it all over the face. He's not having a high toe, low heel, etc. It's much more centralised into a particular point.
So if we just go back to Lee's original scattering over here, it's the fact that, yes, he's got some that are pretty consistent in the middle there.
It's the odd extreme one, isn't it?
Extreme, and this is what we see
The world
on the
sees.
golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's that 1 or 2 shots that he
Yeah.
hits out there that are extremely off the planet that you say to us, you kind of shout it out, if not on the vlog, but you say it sort of after, is that he just mishit it. Like it was a proper toe strike or it was a proper heel strike.
Yeah.
And that's where these big, massive misses are coming from.
I think what's interesting, like on a completely different level to strike, is with those ones, I feel like I am going at it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Like that is, like just hit it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
The last shot we did, I felt control. It was like a controlled swing, just try and hit the ball in the centre, not go after it, and it was 119 mile an hour club head speed, and I don't get that.
Because your focus might be taken off from actually just hitting it. You're actually now thinking of where you're trying to hit it from. You're trying to miss those 2 tees, that little drill down just set up.
Yeah.
So maybe your focus is away from what it was previously, and maybe that extra focus is helping, potentially.
If we go to my spread here, okay, so you can see there that all of it is in that position there at that sort of high toe position,
Yeah.
okay? I am consciously thinking about that. So when I'm on the golf course, I will be looking at different areas of the club face to hit different types of shots. It's just something that I can work on, and I have worked on over time to get me there. Now, I was no different to you. I was a scatterer around the face, but the reality is I didn't get it. It's only when I've had equipment like this that I could see that my strike performance was really quite poor and inconsistent, which in turn made me an inconsistent driver of the ball.
Yeah.
It's only when I've then worked on this from a strike point of view, and this is no different in my irons. Like I would get this strike a little bit in my irons, and I'm right now working on trying to set up more in the heel because I get too toey in the irons, okay, where my performance drops off because I get a mishit. Now I'm trying to move the strike location a little bit in the heel. It's going to take me time. And with regards to people watching this, this is a journey with Lee. Lee is on a destination to scratch. He wants to get as low as he possibly can. This is not a quick fix to improve a performance of the actual shot. So if you walk away from here today going, well, I didn't hit it any straighter. No, you probably didn't. But what you have done is you've started to understand how to strike the ball in the centre spot of the club. Okay? And the more you can learn from that, the better it's going to be for your performance to get better and better as you go forward. You've got to be able to stand over that golf ball and know where you want to hit it in the face to get a different type of flight out of it.
So it's a change in mentality, isn't it? So when you hit your driver, it's I'm hitting this high toe.
Yeah.
Whereas when I hit my driver, it's I've got to swing my arms as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Whereas the last shot proved, if I think about hitting strike in the centre, I actually probably swing it just as quick, if not faster, by not thinking about swinging it faster.
Yeah.
And the strike's better. So if I change my mentality of with driver, hit the centre, and not worry about any other swing thought, that will probably change that.
If I want to get a different shot, so if I want to, you know, where let's say the last hole at Le Day when I was really going for it, my aim for that strike was in higher than that position there, so it was really high in the toe to get a low spinner. So when that ball landed, it was just going to bound on from there. It was going to dip down and then run on from there, and that's where I can get my most out of the shot. If I want to hit a little bit of a fade, I know that me hitting it in the toe is not the place to be, because that ball is potentially going to gear on me a little bit and then hold it up from moving off to from left to right. So working on strike this winter is a key area for you to start to improve your game.
Okay.
So like I said in that video, this is not a quick fix. This is not someone coming to me for a golf lesson for 2 hours or an hour to focus on improving their driving. This is for Lee about improving his strike performance. When he starts to improve his strike performance, then we can go to a little bit more detail in what he's doing with his actual golf swing, and hopefully we can start to change that and get him a bit more on the straight and narrow. But point number one, I've got to get him to start focusing on where he's hitting it in the club face. It's only going to help him moving forward. Let me know, put your comments down below. I'd like to hear if this is something that you've worked on with your coach. I'd like to hear if it's something that you're going to work on over the winter. There's a few little drills out there that can help you with strike, and I think it's definitely worth having a little look at. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and as always, stay safe and we'll see you soon.